None of us were born with a manual. It would have been nice if we were, but we weren't born with a manual. We go through the process of growing up and getting trained and making decisions and being programmed, and we do all kinds of things that we don't know why we do them. Invest in yourself in a couple of different ways. One is to gain more understanding about why you do the things that you do. And the second is to continue to get education about the things that you love. Look at kids today. They absolutely love learning. Every single time that they have a new awakening that makes more sense, you can see the excitement almost burst out of them. They have mind-blowing experiences on a regular basis, and they're addicted to finding out new information. Well, as adults, the process shouldn't be different for us. We stopped liking learning when we had to take classes that we weren't interested in. We stopped enjoying education when we struggled to learn concepts that we didn't enjoy or we weren't interested in, or if we weren't being taught by teachers that were boring teachers. But the process of learning, awakenings, and aha moments, those are things that we never lose the joy from experiencing. We love having adventure. We love having new experiences. All of those things, they feed and fuel us. So invest in yourself means to ensure that you constantly allow those experiences to live in your life. Do you know what your signature strengths are? Do you actively have signature strengths in your life on a regular basis? Marty Seligman writes about them in a book called Authentic Happiness. Our signature strengths are things that we just love to do. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, he wrote a book called Flow. In his book, he discusses the activities that we engage in when we almost lose time. It's as though we're caught in this flow. This flow state is the same as engaging in your signature strengths. The activities fuel you. You receive an energetic charge when you participate in these activities. Now, there's a quote that I have a little bit of a beef with, and it's the quote that says, "Do what you love and you'll never work another day in your life." The reason I have a challenge with this quote is because it presents the fact that for any of us who do still work at all, that we're doing it wrong. And that's not correct. We're not doing it wrong. There's 4 different things that we juggle when we're making career decisions. 1 is, what are we trained at? What are we skilled at? 2 is, where are our signature strengths? What do we love to do? And then 3 is, where the money is. And then depending upon where these 3 things overlap, we make decisions as to what we should do for our career. Now, for some people, the overlap is not going to occur from where the money is to where our signature strengths are. And that's fine, and have our signature strengths be alive somewhere else in our life. It makes no difference, they just need to be alive. But that doesn't mean that you're failing. People get stuck in indecision, and they get stuck in indecision because they don't know what to do next. They sit down and they think about it, and without having all of the information that they need to be able to make a decision, they don't make a decision. And they get stuck in indecision. Invest in figuring out what else you need to know in order to make this decision. Otherwise, trying to make a decision just by thinking about it alone when you don't have all the information you need is like staring into the refrigerator of your mind. We do this when we're hungry. We go and we look in the refrigerator and there's nothing in there that we're interested in, so we do one of 3 things. We either close the door and go and sit down and wait, or we take out something that we kind of want or don't want, but we're hungry, or we go to the grocery store and we actually give ourselves a chance to go and see what else is there that might inspire us to want to cook that evening, or what we'd like to do for dinner. And so by trying to make a decision without getting new information and getting exposed to new ideas, it's like staring into the refrigerator of your mind. It's not in there. If it was, it would be jumping out at you, telling you exactly what you should do. Before you answer that question, it is so important that we get some perspective. We all set massive, massive goals for things that we want to accomplish, and we spend most of our time measuring our lives against how well we've done at accomplishing what we want to. And for so many of us, that means that we're tracking a lot of failures, because that's what happens. That's how you make progress. When you're working on things you've never done before, it takes time to be able to do them the right way. Most people don't succeed the first time that they try. Most people don't succeed the first 20 times they try. We can be really tough on ourselves, and we can grade our lives as though we have already failed, when life isn't done yet. There is still so much more to come. On average, about 20% of us set goals on a regular basis. About 80% of those goals never get hit. Now that's just the average statistic. In 2014, there was a study done in order to track the New Year's resolutions that were made. 8% of people who made a New Year's resolution succeeded at hitting it. Now, I'm not telling you these statistics in order to tell you that we're not good. We're fantastic. We just set huge goals. We make decisions on what we'd like to accomplish that totally challenge us, and we go after the accomplishing of it. There's two things that affect that. One is that our goals are really big, and they're things we haven't done yet. We're navigating in places we've never known how to navigate. And the second is that we've got to get better at learning how to have influence over ourselves. There was a study done in Forbes magazine called Hire for Attitude. It was a study done by Mark Murphy and his company Leadership IQ. What the study showed was that they tracked 20,000 new hires, and in the first 18 months on the job, 46% of them failed at their job. The interesting statistic is that only 11% of them failed because of a lack of skill. 89% failed because of something to do with attitude. So we do need to learn how to have more influence. That statistic does not show that we all have bad attitudes. That statistic shows that we deal with a ton of challenge. We're faced with a lot of stressful scenarios. We can be contacted 24 hours a day with our devices. There's a huge amount of expectation. There's a huge amount of competition. Recruiters have the ability to reach into other countries to be able to find people to fill positions. It's an extremely competitive world. The reason why we struggle is because there's reason to struggle. Today in the media, we see examples of people at extremely young ages having incredible success, but those examples are remote. That is not the normal experience for the majority, the 99% of us. But we measure ourselves against the success that we see. We measure ourselves against the success that we see that our neighbors have, that our friends have, that we see scrolling on news feeds. We measure ourselves against what we believe everybody else has been able to accomplish. We overestimate everybody else's level of happiness, and we underestimate our ability to influence our own happiness. We need to get some perspective in order to let ourselves off the hook. Getting back up, putting together the pieces, having belief, finding some courage, finding the confidence to step up to the plate again, regardless of past results. Absolute disregard for previous results. Consistent, unending attempts. Invest in yourself. Invest in your perspective. Find stories of other people who have succeeded. Walt Disney was so poor in his 20s that he survived by eating dog food. Sylvester Stallone was so broke in his 20s that while he was still trying to find Hollywood support for his film Rocky, he was forced to sell his dog Butt Kiss for $25. When Rocky was purchased, he bought the dog back for $3,000, and his career began to succeed at the age of 30. J.K. Rowling was 32 when the first Harry Potter book was published, and that was only after being rejected by 12 other publishers first. Harrison Ford couldn't get work as an actor, so he paid the bills as a carpenter. A lucky gig building cabinets for George Lucas led to his first role in American Graffiti, and then to the epic role of Han Solo at the age of 34. Gene Hackman was voted least likely to succeed in his acting class at age 26. 11 years later, he landed his first role at the age of 37, and he succeeded past every single person in that class since. Susie Orman became the financial guru she is today only after attempting to open her first restaurant bankrupted her. Brett Favre, who currently holds every NFL passing record in the books, had his best year ever from a statistical standpoint at the age of 40. Susan Boyle captivated the world in 2009 at the age of 48, singing a song that was 29 years old. Her performance was downloaded more than 180 million times in 3 weeks. Diana Naid dreamed of swimming the Straits of Florida since she was 8 years old. She tried 5 times unsuccessfully over the course of 35 years. On September 2nd, 2013, at the age of 64, she succeeded. She's the first person to swim from Florida to Cuba without a protective shark cage. Colonel Sanders started the KFC franchise at the age of 65. That was after years of struggling to open the franchise. And he did this because he got fired from almost every single other job he had earlier in life. Nelson Mandela was elected president of South Africa at the age of 76, after he'd been sentenced to life in prison in 1964, and finally was released after a long publicly supported campaign in 1970. He got married then for the 3rd time at 80 years old. And Audrey Crabtree. She finally hit her lifelong goal of getting her high school diploma. She left school 1 credit shy in 1932 due to an injury, then got married, raised children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, but always wanted to hit that goal. So at the age of 99, she finally did. It's never too late. Life will always make time for you. You just need to have the perspective that it's possible. You need to invest in that perspective. You need to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Learn what you love. Give yourself the opportunity to have new information, new input, so that way you can make a decision based on what you know. Investing in yourself gives you the equipment to have more influence. Take a class. Take a course. Go on an adventure. Expose yourself to new things. Do things that energize you. Figure out what your signature strengths are. Allow them to live in your life, but invest in yourself. You have exactly this much time to be alive. Go. What do you want to do with it?